Yeehaw! Beard neck is wiping my mouth. Getting up. This is your code. So if you're seeing this video right now, not the whole video, but this clip, yeehaw, you enter that code at checkout and you are going to get 11% off your entire order.
Are you talking about, are we gonna show them what it is?
Yeah, because this will be live in the video and we'll have it in stock. So that's going to be 11% off your entire order, yeehaw, which will include any of the new, beautiful,
Ready for it, Spencer?
creamy ranch.
The brand new ranch seasoning. That's why we're wearing these. Howdy, partner.
We will cut this clip out of the video when we don't want this to be used anymore. So if you're still seeing this clip embedded in this video, YEEHAW, put it in your coupon code at checkout, you'll get 11% off your entire order.
Yes, as mentioned, entire order. Not just for the ranch seasoning, the entire order.
Yeehaw! Let's get to work.
Today, we're gonna cut some pork tomahawk chops. We've never done it on camera. We do cut those here for our retail occasionally, usually per request, but Scott, let's go get a pig. Oh, and there's a reason why we're wearing cowboy hats. You'll find out in a second.
What's special about today's cut and cook is that we're debuting a brand new seasoning blend flavor. That's right, ranch. So that's the reason for the hats. We've got brand new flavor. Kind of breaks the mold a little bit with our traditional base of seasoning salt. This one is completely thinking out of the box. It's absolutely tremendous. We think it's going to be perfect for these tomahawk pork chops. So this gets set aside till we cook later in the video, and Seth will get to doing what he does best, which is going to cut some beautiful thick pork tomahawk chops out of this carcass.
Like Scott mentioned, ranch seasoning, a year in the making. And this one, it's probably my personal favorite. Absolutely love it. We know it's going to be great on the tomahawk chops. Let's just get started. So first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get the leaf lard pulled out of here, and then to make a tomahawk pork rib chop, it's gonna be focused right here on this section, sort of like a French rack of lamb, basically the same thing, but in pork. It's not super common, but they're pretty cool. And I'm gonna show you, there's something that we have to do a little different once we get this pig up on the saw, because in order to leave the long bones on those rib chops, you just have to go about the process a little bit different. So I'll show you how to do that. I want to get this excess fat and glands off of here. And once we do that, go ahead and get the hams broke off. Now we're going in for those chops. Start by taking the shoulder off. Now this is where you want to do things a little bit different. Normally, I would just spin this whole loin belly section, and I would just run this through my saw, you know, right there, and separate the two, the belly from the loin. But we can't do that if you're going to leave those long bones on there. So I'm going to show you what we have to do to achieve that. So we want to take this belly off these ribs because we want to save the bacon. So we're just going to go right up along this loin, and we're going to just use your tip of your knife to score through that meat all the way up along those ribs. So once we get that meat scored, you can't cut very deep or you'll cut into your belly. So once we do that, we're going to flip this whole section over. And we're going to start up here at this end. So right here where the end of that shoulder blade bone stops, give yourself maybe 2 finger width or so. You want to start at this end, and you want to come all the way back to where you stopped back here on that loin. So come all the way back, and once you hit that spot, you drew your line. Now we can take and we can just trim this belly off these ribs, staying nice and close to those bones. And since I scored that meat previously, I know where to stop. So just continue going all the way down, and all this will make sense as soon as you see me pull this belly off here. That's what we make into bacon. So we are sacrificing our spare ribs today for this, but at least we're not sacrificing our pork belly for bacon. So this is gonna go in the cure. That's gonna be smoked bacon. Next step, let's get those chops broke off of there. All right. So the next step, cut that little riblet portion off. Now we want to separate the loin chops from these center chops, just like that. We'll set this to the side, and we're going to focus on this portion right here. So you can see this is going to be your center cut pork chop, and then here's your long bone, and we're going to leave those long bones on each chop. So the first thing I have to do is I have to take some of this vertebrae off the back. Just like you'd be Frenching a rack of lamb, it's pretty much the same thing on pork. I have to be careful because the brim of my hat hits my saw if I lean forward too far. Now let's just get started cutting some chops. So you want to start by removing the rest of this bone here. So just go all the way down. Once we get that bone off of there, we're going to remove the membrane off these ribs. Let's get all this membrane off of here. Just makes it easier to clean them up once we're done cutting each individual chop. So basically this is the membrane that you peel off your spare ribs when you smoke them. Once we get that done, now what I want to do is turn this over. Let's trim some of this fat off the back of this loin. Fat's going to get used for lard, goes on our website. You can purchase it, add it to your deer meat. Doesn't get thrown away. So just trim some of that fat off of there. Just like that. Take that bottom portion of that blade bone off of there. And usually when I cut these, this first chop here, I usually don't save it as a loin chop because it's not super desirable. So I usually just kind of get rid of that. It's kind of sloppy and doesn't look real good, so I usually get rid of that one. Now what I want to do is I want to go down through each rib, and I want to clean these up just like you do on a rack of lamb. So this is the part that's gets to be a bit time consuming. So just go down through each individual rib. And we could have left that belly meat on the back of these ribs and still cut these into chops, but like mentioned earlier, we just didn't want to sacrifice that bacon. Okay, now that we have this section to this point right here, I'm going to go through and I'll clean these bones up some more after each individual chop is cut. But what we want to do is we just want to go down through each individual bone like this. These are nice, thick, about 1.25 inch thick pork tomahawk rib chop. You can see look how awesome that looks. It's got that long bone on there. It's got a decent amount of fat and a nice center loin chop in there. We are going to put the ranch seasoning on these. I can guarantee you they're going to be fantastic. Beef tomahawk steaks are the same way. So it doesn't really matter what species you're working on, whether it be beef or venison or in this case pork or lamb, pretty much all the same when it comes to cutting these tomahawk style. So now we're just going to go down through each individual chop and we're just going to clean these bones up, get them all prettied up. There's those beautiful pork tomahawk rib chops. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're going to grab a couple of the beautiful center cut. So right there, got the nice long bones on them. And those we are going to get all seasoned up with the brand new Bearded Butcher ranch seasoning. Next stop, we're heading to the grill.
In the shade of the oak, it's actually a maple. We are going to, I gotta stop being so goofy on videos.
No, you don't.
Nobody's gonna take me seriously. We're loading up the Yoder with some of our white oak StOAKed pellets, which we love. Clean, hot burning fuel to cook our pork tomahawk chops with our new ranch seasoning.
Took my knife, bro.
It's all you from here. I did the hard part.
See if Alyssa opened up the, oh, she did.
I did.
She took the freshness seal off. Brand new ranch, as mentioned. Gonna get the chops opened up. Gonna get them seasoned, give them a chance to sweat out a little bit. And you're gonna notice there's 3, because originally it was gonna only be 2, but we figured with as many of us that are out here, 2 was never gonna be enough, so we decided to go with 3. Let's get them seasoned up. So obviously I'm gonna be using the shaker. I do want to mention again, available in a 4-pound bag. So I'm gonna just set this off to the side and just get a nice even distribution. So with this seasoning, a lot of the spices and stuff you're gonna see dissolve in there, but you can see our granulars, the nice green and the flakes going. A little windy out here, so some of it's blowing off our chops. Just get a nice coating on them, and then we'll let them sit here and sweat out a little bit. Oh man, those look good. My mouth was already watering. Get the smoke from those stoked pellets heading our direction. You smell it, Spencer?
Mm-hmm. Smells amazing.
Man, that smells good. All right, all seasoned up. Let's let them sit there and sweat for a minute while the grill gets hot, and then get them on the fire. We ready for the grill, Scott?
Is the grill ready for us?
I want to point this out real quick. Onion, bell pepper, chives, and you can see how that some of that seasoning dissolved on there, and just these just are gonna be dynamite. I know it. All right. So we're gonna go indirect. So on a Yoder, we took the plate out, so you can go direct on this side. It's indirect on this side. So we're gonna go indirect for a little while, and then we're gonna go over on the direct, basically a reverse sear on these pork tomahawk chops. All right, we'll flip them once on here, and then from here we'll go over to the direct side.
Seth's over there doing some big business, apparently. Get him over there.
Big business.
In charge, so.
Start calling it big business.
Big business. That's when he's got his hat on. I'm just giving these guys a flip. They're just hanging out, smoking, getting a little of that wonderful, see that sweet blue smoke floating around in there? Getting a little of that flavor on there. And we'll let them go for maybe another 15, and then we'll sear them off. Raise the temp to 500, and now we're just gonna go right on to the direct side. Get that sear going. We were at about 105 to 108 degrees internal on those. So let them go for a little bit, flip them, take them to a nice juicy medium, and pull them. Time to flip. Actually, I'm gonna move this one to the back. So Seth had a little feather in his hat, so I wanted to get a feather in my hat. You need a better feather. Let me get you a better feather. Hey, thanks. That's way better. We're done. We've hit 145 to 147 on all three of them. So the next thing to do is get them off onto our cutting board and let them rest for a minute. Can I assist you, sir? Sure can. Man, oh man. Don't they look good? Look how juicy those are. They smell amazing too. Wait. Can I give you some? Oh. Whoa. I'm not putting the seasoning on them. Whoa. All I'm gonna do is put a little.
It's a cowboy sound, baby.
Like, could I get a yee-haw or something?
Whoa. Really good seasoning you got there.
That's just to do a little dab. So I'll slice them up, and then we'll just dab a little bit in the seasoning. So, but first we're gonna let them rest for a few minutes, and then we'll slice them up. We're gonna sample them. Do you want to set this?
Stop it. Stop.
You're gonna need to have room to get in there, aren't you?
No, it's just. Well, actually, we could set it out.
Moment of truth.
We come on this side.
Stand wherever. Oh, we're doing it that way?
You're probably gonna wait for me to slice it, but
I
I think we
was.
should go in this way.
See how
I don't
hot she is.
want to dump the juice off.
I know. Ready?
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Wow. That's amazing.
That
Big
is
chunk of that fat with that ranch flavor just bursting.
That is incredible. Wow. I gotta get this sliced up so you guys can try some.
I usually say it tastes like beef.
Wow.
Tastes like incredible, tasty.
That was amazing. I'm not kidding that
savory.
the food that we've tried on camera, that has to be like in the top 5. That Spencer
burst of flavor that
man.
hits you.
Top 5, huh?
Alyssa?
Absolutely amazing.
Now I want to try something special here.
I just did that. Wow, it's good.
Were you expecting that?
I didn't know what to expect because it's been a long time since I've had just a pork chop like that.
Man, cut that bone off there and get some of that meat right up there by that bone. Dip it in that ranch seasoning.
Wow,
Incredible.
that is delicious. That turns out to be an incredible number 11 flavor for us.
I can't stop eating it. Want some more, Alyssa?
Flavor of that pork is outstanding.
Wow.
Well,
I'm impressed.
this cut and cook is over. It turned out absolutely incredible. The ranch flavor bursts right to the front of the scene the instant you take a bite.
And that fat, that flavor,
Yeah.
that crispy fat.
Wow, tremendous.
This one's probably going to be the best because it's the crispiest. Look at that juice running off those things. Wow. Incredible.
I loved it.
Oh, I
think
can't
you
stop
loved it
eating
as well. We're gonna spoil our dinner, but turned out incredible. Highly recommend our new ranch seasoning on not just a pork chop, but use it on everything, as we like to say.
Flavor number 11, and don't forget, use the code
Yeehaw!
in the beginning of the video. Save yourself a discount on your total order, not just the ranch. This one is incredible.
Thanks for watching, Bearded Butchers, and we'll see you next time.
See ya.